I almost left the house without it.
Here.
Mayor Lang. Councilmember Severe.
Present.
Councilmember Moore.
Present.
Councilmember Watson.
Here.
Four present, we have a quorum.
Right. We'll stand and have prayer. And I'm gonna call on Brother Torrey Dillard to lead us in prayer today, and Jamie will lead us in pledge.
Hello, committee members, fellow Lawrence Countyans, beloved children of God, let us pray. Holy and living God, we know that in this room right now there is concern. We know that there are beloved leaders who wish to only care for their community, and that there are beloved community members that wish to have a voice. So God, when we say what we need to say, may we remember to hold respect and dignity for each person in this room. May we remember that each person is a child of God. May we open our ears to hear the words that are coming out of each other's mouths, not to respond, but to understand. So God, may you bless this time. May your Holy Spirit be with us. May you calm our hearts so we can have honest discord. We give you thanks, honor, and praise. In Jesus Christ's most holy name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the next thing here, we'll get an approval of the minutes from the last meeting, April the 9th, 2026.
Motion to adopt.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, the approval of the minutes is good. And now we welcome everybody here, the press and the visitors, and we'll go to the public comment section now.
Okay, fair enough.
And before we get into this public comment section, I want to read you the public comment period rules, please. It's please state your name and address for the record. Comments are be directed to the board and not to the audience. Comments are limited to 5 minutes maximum. The board will listen to your comments but not engage in a dialogue with the speaker. The audience is not to respond to the speaker. No clapping, commenting, or booing. If you can honor these, we'd sure appreciate it. And the first one on here is Ken.
Negative. Negative, without in case out.
Okay. Okay, you come on up and speak.
Come on up, Mr. Ken.
I'm telling you, neighbors from the working dollars for rest. Never met none of you guys. I'm sad to say that because I represent 3,800 veterans that all come to this time to get help. On both sides of the bowl where I live, we got different construction projects going on. No one ever wants to consider what's going on with the veterans, who they're bringing in or anything. I'm not sure who's negotiating on behalf of the town. These data centers, everything going on. I don't hear nothing about no new schools, no new buildings, or what's going in for us. All these people have money. Now, we know that hotels were built intentionally for these data centers to 600 to 800 men be staying in. I don't know who got ties to that. So I don't know who's in charge. I'm going to hand you a copy. You should get another copy, you know, for free. The information that we're entitled to have to see if anybody got any gifts, whatever. I just don't understand how this is all going on. And nobody that I've talked to seems to know exactly what is going on. Now, I'm only going to take one more minute at a time, but you guys have let us down bad. Whoever had this going on didn't inform us, who didn't tell us we can go. These people got money. That's a good thing when it comes into town. But when it comes into town like this, it's nothing but bad. You have separated people, you got them divided, everybody's pushing each other around. I had a hate group ask me to sign up with them. That's the first time since I've been in Lawrenceburg. That's all I've got to say to you people. I'll see you next time to talk to you under subpoena.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending being here.
Next name is L. McCann.
McCann.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for everyone attending. I think this is phenomenal to see people involved. So my name is Elle McCann. I originally wrote the article that was in the Lawrenceburg Advocate. And honestly, I went through all of the proper channels. I originally heard about the data center. Ryan Egley was making a post on Facebook talking about pros of data centers. I asked some follow-up questions with Ryan back in March, trying to understand things, and found out that there was a data center that was coming to town. I then did all of the proper research. I contacted different county commissioners. I live in Ethridge, Tennessee. Just said location at the beginning. So I went through the proper channels that I knew. I also went to an LUS board meeting and asked questions there about utilities and capacity that we had. And the overwhelming thing that I saw was that no one knew about any of this. And then it became a point of this should be shared. I think that every time I've seen other projects come to Lawrenceburg, whether it be Waffle House, Aldi, other exciting developments that we are excited as a community to have, you see a lot of information about it being shared. But whenever there's a project like a data center that is controversial and would have some negative opinions, I saw nothing. And that's why I took it upon myself to write the article in the paper, because I felt like this impacts our community and it needs to be shared and public voices need to be heard. So in writing that article, I also created a change.org petition. In the first 24 hours, I had over 1,000 signatures from Lawrence County residents. Now, as of this morning, I printed it off. We had 2,333 signatures. It equaled 52 pages for my printer. And if you look at all of the places where it was from, there's people from New York and California are not signing this. These are Summertown, Etheridge, Lawrenceburg. These are the people in the community that have signed this petition, specifically that our voices have not been heard. This petition was not set up with a yes or a no for data centers. That can be something that we can have more public awareness for. However, this petition was about we should have a voice. I feel like I can speak for a lot of people here, but we're busy. I own 2 small businesses. I'm the president of a nonprofit. I'm a wife, a mom, I've got animals. I don't have time to be here today. That's why we elect officials like you to make sure that you have our best interests in mind. Whenever we find out then that elected officials may not have our best interest in mind, or maybe passing things through quickly and quietly like the data center so that we can't actually have our voices heard, that causes more just concern and alarm bells. What I'm asking for today is dialogue for this. I've recently found out that the city of Lawrenceburg owns the Crockett Theater, which has a capacity of 1,045 seats. I think that would be a perfect place to have a town hall and be able to bring all the parties involved to have communications. I would love to see the city council, Mayor Blake Lay there, LUS, the data center people, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, so that we can have an open dialogue where all of the community feels like they're being heard and their voices are appreciated. I think having this would also clear up any kind of confusion. There's obviously a lot of information online, and data centers are not all the same. This isn't apparently one of the Microsoft huge mega campuses, but we don't know that. Information has not been shared with us beforehand, and now we're just getting information after the fact in one-sided conversations through the radio and through Facebook posts. While I think it's helpful to share information, we're still not being part of the dialogue. And I think that's why you see such an attendance today of people that say, hey, we want to be a part of our community. We were not told about this properly with the signage. This was not shared, and we deserve to have our voices heard. So I am calling today for a town hall to be scheduled to include all of the community members that would like to attend. Maybe we need to have more than 1,000 seats, but I think that the Crockett Theater already being an ownership of the city of Lawrenceburg makes sense for a perfect venue for that, so that we could get that organized quickly without having to do additional costs to the city of Lawrenceburg, but making sure that all voices and opinions are heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. Here.
Next one on the list is Ashley Massey.
My name is Ashley Massey. My address is 49 South Park Grove Road, Lawrenceburg. That's the address of our farm. What makes Lawrence County so special is our beautiful environment and the way our community comes together in difficult times. And I see that happening again now, this time with the community coming together to protect the beautiful environment that we all love and the reason that so many people move here for. And I don't think this kind of community action should be easily dismissed or trivialized by local leaders. I am a 4th generation cattle farmer and a small business owner in Lawrence County. Our family farm, Flatwoods Farm, is aptly named as it is located in the Flatwoods area. On our farm, we raise beef cattle, we grow our own hay, cut flowers, and garden vegetables. I've also been a small business owner for the past 13 years as the owner and designer behind the jewelry brand Flatwoods Fawn. It's sold nationally and internationally, but it's based on my studio on our farm. My brand is environmentally conscious, and I use sustainable business practices. Our farm is also sustainability focused as we've partnered with various agencies to work toward protecting a threatened species of fish, as well as incorporating more environmentally friendly methods of raising cattle. I am opposed to a data center being built just down the road from our farm. Ryan Egley of the Chamber of Commerce stated to WKRN on April 20th that, quote, we went above and beyond, quote, to alert the community about the data center. But the only mention of the rezoning being for a data center existed on a sign situated off the road, which I would have needed my cattle binoculars to read. On December 11th, 2025, City Council meeting agenda, the agenda only listed that the concerned property would be rezoned from a large lot residential district to light industrial. There was no mention of a data center on this agenda. Data centers are the latest version of extractive industry, which target underrepresented areas in southern Appalachia. Egley and others believe that the data center's impact on Lawrenceburg would be different from the many other cities that are suffering from data centers like South Haven, Mississippi, Mansfield, Georgia, Memphis, Tennessee, and more. They ask us to trust their unsighted statements instead of the overwhelming amount of non-biased news articles, environmental studies, and academic research, which show an alarming increase in data centers wreaking havoc on towns and cities in the South like ours. My cousin, Vic Puster of LUS, stated to WLX on April 20th that once the data center is built, the center could choose to expand their capacity above 5 megawatts. I also want to note that this number of megawatts has changed several times depending on who is speaking. He said that the TVA would conduct, quote, a system impact study, quote, if they chose to expand. However, the TVA has a vested interest in the data center development as the facility would cause LUS to purchase. Additionally, other data centers have exploited legal loopholes in order to expand quickly, which in places like South Haven led to an increase in asthma issues and noise pollution. I believe an independent environmental impact assessment should be conducted to address the plethora of citizen concerns. I do not wish for Flatwoods to be the newest sacrifice zone in a long history of exploitative and extractive industries barreling into southern communities, clashing with our values, and causing harm to our land, water, air, animals, and people with little recourse. I'm deeply concerned about the risk of Flatwoods becoming a throwaway zone filled with unmitigated light and sound pollution, water shortages and contamination, and reduced air quality. We've been in a drought for a number of years. On our farm, we have lost cattle to the drought as well as hay production. I'm also concerned about the local government's actions regarding the data center leading to private land value decreasing near the proposed site. The people of Flatwoods chose to live in the country. We did not choose to live in an industrial park. Farmland is rapidly disappearing in the state at a concerning rate of 200 acres per day, according to UT. While politicians and local leaders say they advocate for protecting farmland, this data center runs counter to those statements. Once farmland is developed, it is gone forever. I have a tattoo on my arm that reads Flatwoods. It will be there forever. And I plan to be in Flatwoods just as long, and I will do all in my power to protect the land, the animals, the plants, and the people in my community. I echo others' calls for a public forum on this matter where citizens can respectfully share their concerns regarding the data center. I have copies of my letter here. I just have a few, and then it will be in the newspaper, and you can read it there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next one on the list is Carla Nicholson.
My name is Carla Nicholson. I'm from West Point, Tennessee. I am a oncology nurse at Vandy. I am also the mother of a cancer survivor. She was diagnosed here in this county at 4. We pulled ourselves away from all of the chemicals and things in our area. We organic garden. We try to limit the caustic effects in our life. I feel like putting this data center is only going to increase it without any concern for the population and the side effects that it's going to bring. By using our, resources and all the diesel fuel that's going to potentially be used within this, the nitrous oxide is a caustic chemical that is going to increase her cancer risk along with every other individual within this county. I don't feel like that the appropriate education was given to our community to make an appropriate decision. I feel like that the information out there completely is negative. Everything that I have read is the caustic effects of the data center, the drain on the electrical system is negative, the cost to the community is negative. I've yet to see what the positive outcome of this is going to be, and other than a financial gain to who is the question, because I don't feel like it's going to be to the population. I feel like that for the negative effects of this, it should have never been even a decision to be made. The whole state of Florida is trying to regulate data centers because they were lied to apparently in the beginning, so that now DeSantis is trying to regulate how these data centers are performing. So I feel like if the whole state is upset about these, why are we considering bringing these to Lawrence County? For our children, our grandchildren to have to deal with the side effects of these things, for the migration of our birds, butterflies to be, negatively affected. I don't understand why this was a decision that y'all thought was going to be good.
Thank you, Mr. Barber.
Rachel Brown.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
My name is Rachel Brown. I have Farmer Brown's Produce over on Hudson Road. I'm going to echo the sentiments that they have as well, that this has not been accurately presented to the public. We've had no any like notice or questions that need to be answered. All I've heard is all the pros. Nothing about the environment impacts, nothing about how it's actually going to affect our electric rates, because you can't sit here and say it's not going to. That's based off of demand polls, period. There's nothing about, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous because I haven't public spoken a long time, so.
You're fine.
Give me a minute, my heart's racing, but,
Take your time.
sorry. And my kid's here, so this is like a little bit extra nerve-wracking to be like, hey, look what my mom's doing, but, I do feel that the town hall is probably the best approach. I do feel that representatives from this company need to be there. We need to know who they are, what their long-term intentions are. It's easy to say we've got a 5-year commitment, but what happens if they decide to shut that down? Who cleans it up? What chemicals are being used to actually clean the water? Is it that they're gonna put back into our water? Is it gonna be propylene glycol? Is it gonna be, we're putting antifreeze right back into our water treatment facility? What if they don't meet those expectations? What is their plan to not put the water back in our system? None of these questions have been answered. It's all just been, look at the tax revenue we're gonna get. Look how much money LUS is gonna get. Where's that tax revenue going? Do we have long-term, short-term plans for that? Is it going back into the community, or are we just gonna go put it back in the rainy day fund that nobody seems to want to touch? So, definitely we need to have a much broader conversation before any of this moves forward. Any of it. We live here, they don't. So their opinion really doesn't matter, honestly. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry Terrell.
Morning, y'all.
Good morning.
I'm Larry Terrell, I live at 308 Dell Street. Pretty much like the rest of them, echo the same sentiments. I think that there's some of the information that we've given it seems to frame this data center one way to kind of put a rosy picture on it, but not enough people are talking about, or just bringing up the questions really about what could be the negative effects. We've been told that it doesn't, price increase on electricity wouldn't be necessary. I'd like kind of more information on that, because it almost seems like there's already been a price increase, because as certain leaders have said, there's already been infrastructure upgrades to make sure we can accommodate a project like this. Well, our electricity has gone up 14% since 2024, so it seems like we've already been paying for this project without our knowledge about it. Property values, data shows the closer you live to the data center, the more your property value goes down. As far as the transparency goes, like Ms. McCann said, that small sign really wasn't adequate. It might have been the minimum that was required, but I think that you see from the public outcry and the turnout of this meeting that had we known about it sooner, there would have been a lot more dialogue about it in the beginning. Honestly, you don't buy a plot of land like that, because I understand the land's already been bought, and then there was a vote for the rezoning. You don't go and buy a plot of land that you intend to put a data center on without speaking to some city officials and probably making sure some accommodations are going to be made. They're not going to earmark that kind of money and make that investment without knowing that this was going to happen for them. So I feel like this has been in the works for a lot longer than what we've been led to believe, and that we could have been informed a whole lot sooner. And as far as one of the last things I'll say is the pros and cons. I keep hearing about the tax revenue, but like the lady before me just said, where's that money going to go? Who's going to decide that? Is it just going to be one of the things like with the data center that our leaders just decide they know what's best and they're going to decide where the money goes without public input? So I'm not going to keep going on. That's pretty much the question I wanted to raise, so I appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry.
William Sellers.
Morning, Council. My name is William Sellers.
Morning.
Address is 249 West Laurel, Lawrenceburg. Minister of a local church here, the Seventh Adventist Church. Good morning to all and neighbors. I don't really speak for or against this project. I really want to speak to the how. I first came aware of this on Facebook, went through some of the details, and I couldn't help but notice a certain date that stood out from last year. November 25th, I believe, is a date that some kind of agreement was either signed or something. And I'm sure everybody knows what they were doing that week. Thanksgiving. And that's bad optics. Bad optics on a project that could be very good for our county. But then I also saw that there was a signage where it was placed, the font size, etc. Again, more bad optics. Most people have interpreted this as, well, intentional. And I don't think I speak for myself. I think I speak for many people that most people want to make money. In fact, I think anybody and everybody wants to make money, but the question is, how do you make money? How does it affect others? How does it affect your neighbors? Right?
Should be honestly.
My background in ministry has been in other small counties and towns out west. I've had experience dealing with casinos that wanted to be built and seeing how their lawyers think and how they engage city leaders and small communities. I think it's incumbent upon us to have a time to where we can talk to the company openly and ask questions. So a few of the questions I'll share with you this morning. Probably most are not aware that there's things called CBAs, Community Benefit Agreements. What was discussed? Maybe the public doesn't know if there was. And if there was agreements, what are they? Also, were there non-disclosures signed and pursued by the company with whomever they signed them with? It would be good to know if they were made. Of course, we talked and heard about power rates, power rate protections. There are things called rate negotiation laws or cost of service studies to ensure that data center energy demands do not increase utility prices for residential customers. Tax revenue guarantees. They would developers to pay what they call liquidated damages if projected tax revenues, sorry, I lost my place, are not met by a certain date. Certainly they've made clear that this isn't about employment numbers, something 10 or below, but it's about tax revenues, and this is a point that needs clarification. What is the company's prospectus on 3, 5, 10-year tax revenues benefiting our county? It'd be good to know. Also, two more things. What happens if this doesn't work out on their end? Who cleans up what's left? There are abandonment dynamics with any company, right? And to ensure this would require developers to cover the cost of removing equipment and reclaiming the site if they downsize or leave, preventing the county, us, from being stuck with decommissioning infrastructure, which is money I'm sure we don't all have. Another thought I had was the Amish community communicated with? For this is going on their doorstep. Now, I don't know the Amish community very well here, nor am I from an area of the country that they're present. But my wife is. She's from central Wisconsin, and she was born and raised with Amish neighbors. And I can't speak with authority, but she informed me that this is something that we all should hear and know. Their culture is obviously German, and Germans have a way with conflict. But if they're Amish, they pursue peace, and they pursue Christ and neighborly values. What could happen, I'm not saying it is, because I don't know, but what I understand from the Amish community is if there's a serious conflict, they often just leave. And I hope that that was part of our calculus into thinking about where this was placed. And if they find out about this and they were not approached, that's a thing. And we need to communicate with them and invite them to this public forum if they're willing to speak. So thank you for your time. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. David Mitzel.
Morning, my name is David Mitzel. I'm a 21-year resident of Lawrence County. I'm a darn Yankee, but I got exported here that long ago. So I feel a part of the community. I worked 8 or 9 years in Judge Patty's court as a domestic assault counsel before I retired. Right now I'm representing myself as well as a local citizens group called People for Clean Air, Food, and Water. They're located in Somerville. They've been doing it for 9 years, I do believe. I have a couple questions and statements to make. I want to know who owns the data center if it comes to pass. I'd like to know what the phone numbers and mailing addresses of those people would be. Can we have a complete tour of every room of this place, if and when it gets built? In other words, transparency, which seems to be lacking at this point. There's no transparency that I can tell to this issue. We must have lists and names of U.S. mail addresses and everyone and city government officials involved in this process, in this decision-making process, as the representatives of our democratic elected government. The public must be able to speak out on this subject, as we're doing today. That should be continued as this process proceeds. I want to know what our tax dollars are going to be doing with this data center. Will we be paying for this by increased taxes? Will we be paying for this by increased water prices, electricity? These things need to be gone over publicly and inform the public. The water issue enters into this largely. Where's the water coming from for this data center? I've been told that these places use a lot of water, and then when they're finished using it, they put it back into whatever water source there might be. Will it be the Buffalo River? Will it be end up being polluted? There's no transparency as yet. And that's what looms here as an important issue. I've been informed that all data centers that have been built in the past have involved lawsuits. Are we going to have lawsuits about this thing? Noise. I understand that these places are very noisy when they're up and running. What's up with that? What are we going to know about that? How it will affect the local farmers and these other salient points that have already been brought up. I think that's all I have to ask you and talk to you about. That's all I have written down here, but I appreciate the ability that we can exercise our rights as citizens of this county to address you folks. And thank you for that. Thank you.
I think the next name looks like Rocky,
Yep, Rocky Stone.
something like that.
Rocky and my wife Betsy, and our phone number is 931-829-3344. We are citizens for clean air, water, and food, and I want to let you know what we've been doing for the citizens of Lawrenceburg. Half of you people are going to die of cancer, period. Half of you are going to die of some form of cancer. That's because of this. It's because of what they're spraying. They're not spraying. My wife and I have a national lawsuit against Paraquat in China, international lawsuit. And if you people don't change your ways, there's going to be a national lawsuit that we're going to start about the data center, because you did a lot of illegal stuff. Now, about Paraquat, anybody that has Parkinson's disease, let us know, because Paraquat causes Parkinson's disease. That lawsuit has already been filed with the federal government for 20 years. I want to let people know that the big talk, my wife and I have checked and called people, neighbors, to the data center, okay? It's going to double and triple in the first year, double and triple your electricity. No, the data center says, we have generators. No, you don't. Those are for backup.
Can you talk to them, not the audience?
Okay.
You're here to make comments to them.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
Dick McKinley. I'm the
Dick
city
McKinley, thank you, sir. The data centers, the people we called said no. It's going to double and triple your electricity, and they're going to say the generators will back us. We're going to use those. No, they're not. They're going to use them when the electricity in Lawrenceburg goes out. All right? Now, as far as the generators, they said we have two of the largest generators in the building, the largest generators you can buy, okay? And they also say you can hear the noise for 5 miles away. 5 miles, okay? And they also say about the water. Nobody said here, are we using Lawrenceburg's water, Lawrence County's water? Okay? The other thing that people need to know is, the paper says we're going to hire 10 people. Are we guaranteed that one of these citizens is going to be hired? Or are they going to be like the other visitors here? They're going to bring their friends in here. So we get nothing. Okay? And I'm going to turn it over to my wife now. Like I said, we're Citizens for Clean Air, Water, and Food. We have our meeting, which will be just this Sunday, 3 to 4 p.m. And anybody can call us. And especially if you know someone with Parkinson's, turn them in because we'll put them on the national lawsuit. Go for it.
Thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
I had already been through cancer. I moved here because I wanted to live in agricultural, rural America. My people are from the 1500s. The German people that are connected to the Amish people here. I know all the Amish people personally. I came here because I wanted to live on a farm. Originally I was born in North Carolina. All of the farmland is gone except a few plots that my cousin and my nephews own. It's all gone. Lawrenceburg is going to be Lawrenceburg and Lawrence County are going to be the backyard of Nashville. That's exactly what happened to where I live. They became the backyard of Charlotte, North Carolina. The farms are gone, the animals are gone, the birds are gone, the butterflies are gone. All life is gone. All my friends have some form of cancer that have lived this long. The rest of them died many years ago. They started dying in the 40s when they started with DDT. Neil Beard writes in the paper, he wrote about the ongoing problems that his people have, that the people of this county have inherited from being saturated with DDT. I lived through DDT, however, I spent a summer in the hospital with convulsions because of it. I had had cancer. The oncologist at Murray County told me that all the chemicals cause the cancer and all of the cancers are in the agricultural areas. If Lawrenceburg is a city, that's fine. All of this air, water, and food is being used by all citizens everywhere. I'm for all citizens all over the world having clean air, water, and food. The book of Jeremiah says, the Lord our, O-U-R, righteousness. It is in all capital letters. So it's for everybody to seek what is right, for everybody that is all over the world. Chemicals are what is killing everything. It creates neurological problems. All of these things are getting worse. They're not getting better. The doctor told me that the people are getting younger and younger and younger. They come in with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cancer, everything. It goes further than anybody can imagine. I've already contacted the Southern Environmental Law Center. They've already written an article about what data centers do to communities. I read the article several months ago, and I thought, oh, one of my relatives lives in Virginia. I'll cut this out and send it to her because this will never happen here. This will never happen here.
So the 5 minutes is over.
But
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If anybody wants
something,
to
yeah.
come to our meeting, I would like to invite everybody in this room.
They
The
signed,
meeting is
hang on
coming.
just a minute, they signed up separate, so she got a 5-minute too.
Everyone, it's very nice that this turned out this way. Timing is from the Lord. That's in the book, that's in Daniel's prayer in the Bible. The Lord is in charge of times and seasons. I am here to invite every person here that cares about the citizens of Lawrence County, the state of Tennessee, the entire United States and this whole hemisphere and that whole hemisphere over there. It all goes back to who created us and create life and not death. The meeting will be Sunday at the Brace Community Church from 3 to 4 p.m. It's Citizens for Clean Air, Water, and Food. All these other people that spoke before me have already thought through this and spoke much more eloquently than I can. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Kathy Willis. Kathy Willis.
Oh, it's Colby.
Colby.
Yeah.
Oh, Colby was, I'm
I have
sorry.
terrible handwriting.
What I did.
Okay, my name is Colby Willis. I'm actually a local business owner of Make It Sweet Bakery right down the road. My wife and I own it. I probably should have prepared a speech, given how eloquently somebody else already spoke before me, but I just like kind of like the riff, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call it like I see it, and that is, I do feel like the transparency, or lack thereof, come on, I feel like it was slightly intentional, because if we look at, say, 2025, for example, there were over 140 different data centers across this country that, when they were given proper notice, were voted no one. Over 140 in 1 year. That's pretty significant, I think. And also, I think we can agree in 2026, in recent memory, people are pretty desensitized to a lot of issues, whether it's anything in the news, on TV, in the local community, whatever it is. People tend to kind of, get over it. Except for this, which that kind of should say something, with the fact that we have this many people willing to talk about it. In an age where people tend to not really care about things these days. So just kind of want to throw some fun facts at y'all, and then I'm going to go on about my day because I can't really afford to be away from my business right now. Fun fact, I don't know if anybody's aware of this. Y'all know where Tennessee ranks nationally as far as annual blackouts. Third. We're the third highest in the country. You know who we're behind? Texas, California. You know what are the two most populated states in the entire country? Texas and California. You know, other than Virginia, which two states in the country have the largest concentration of data centers? Texas, California. Tennessee is ranked 15th in population. 15th. Roughly, about, 30% or so as far as the tier that we're in, 15th nationally. And somehow we're keeping up with California and Texas when it comes to annual blackouts. Something's wrong there. And we can say all day long till the cows come home that this data center is going to have its own generators. I think we're all adults here and we can all agree that we know at some point that's not going to be the case. And they're going to have to tap into some other power supply. And on average, even the smallest data centers can require up to 10 to 15,000 homes worth of power, with the average currently requiring over 100,000 residential homes worth of power. Over 100,000. Last I checked, Lawrenceburg does not have that many people. So if data centers within a span of 3 years require that much power just to power that one site alone, and we already have the third most blackouts in the nation, how can we possibly support a data center which is going to require upwards of 9 to 10 times the amount of power required within 3 years? And shockingly, in the next 4 years, there have been estimates that data centers will require at least 2 to 3 times the amount of energy just to run one facility. In terms of water, I know that we've been told, I understand that we've been told that, hey, it's going to have its own loop system. I get it. Did you know that the loop system is significantly more cost significantly costs more in energy to run than actually just pumping in water constantly. So we're going to be getting this data center, which is going to require more power than we can afford to actually, take care of. It's using a system to save us on water that is significantly more to power than other data centers. And also, too, I just want people to be aware of this, and that is that people, like I said before when I started, tend to not care that much about big issues. It happens. And I just kind of want to remind anyone who was behind the approval or potential approval of this that is an elected official of a paraphrased quote of former President George W. Bush that he gave just a few weeks ago when they asked him about the state of things. And he said, democracies do tend sometimes to let things get a little bit out of control. But then he said the beautiful thing about democracy is that it's self-correcting. When people are upset enough about certain issues, democracies are self-correcting. Now, I just want that to be known for anyone that approved these things. And I also want to be known that once I leave here and get back to my bakery, and hopefully it's not on fire right now, but once I get back, I will be, under the Public Records Act, be requesting every bit of formal information and documentation that was proposed with this data center, as is my right to do. And I feel like that will help with the transparency. I want to thank you all for your time. I'm going to get out of here and go work in my bakery, and I hope everybody else has a wonderful day. I recognize about 18 different customers I've seen. So thank you all for letting me talk. I got to get back to work, and I really hope that y'all listen to what these people have to say. So thank you.
King Street.
Anita Porter.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I really wasn't coming here to speak more to listen, but it's nice man convinced me to put my name down. And I echo everything's already been said, and I won't say those things again. But one of the concerns that I have is I live just barely over a mile away. I can hear. Well, I haven't lately. I don't know if it's still running or not, but just as a informational, the racetrack, the straight track there in Etheridge that used to run the race cars, I could hear that very well at my house at night when they would do that. I think on Friday or Saturday nights. I'm just a creek and holler away from this place. I live on Mount Ararat Road. And I'm very concerned about that. At some point I would like to probably retire and sell my house and go live next to my grandchildren. But I'm worried that I won't even be able to sell my house. And I shouldn't have to worry about that. I should not have to worry about that. And nobody should. Just because of where you live, that's a decision that somebody else made. On the down low, is going to affect my life in such a way, my property values and my ability to retire and live a life that I planned, even if I want to, which I'm going to stay in the house many more years. I'm not retiring anytime soon, but I'm very concerned about this. There's a little creek that runs right behind where this thing's going to sit. Are they going to covertly dump stuff in there? Who would know if they did? That's a pristine little creek right there. And it runs straight into our water supply. So I'm very concerned about these things. And I was told, I called and I spoke with a very nice young lady in the Planning and Development Office. And she was very nice, and she gave me all the information I think that she had. But one thing that came across was, this is a done deal. It's a done deal. If you were going to have anything to do about it, it should have been done a long time ago, because there's nothing can be done about it. These people own this land. We can't tell them what to do with this land. We have no ability to affect this whatsoever. You're wasting your time.
Wow.
So I know that's not true. I know there's things that can be done because other communities are doing them all over the country to prevent these things from coming in. So, you know, whoever told her this is giving her false information. And it's gonna have to be rectified in some manner. I don't know what, but something has to be done. We can't just deal with, oh, it's a done deal. Because it's not a done deal. It's not built yet. So there's always something that can be done. And, you know, the state of Maine just recently, I think this week passed laws where these things can't be put in their state. There's a reason why these states and communities are passing laws where these things can't be put there. You know, and I want to live in a community that cares enough about me that they're going to protect me. And that's really all that I've got to say. And I hope that the people that the powers that be in this county are not taking the, oh, well, there's nothing to be done about it, because there is. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. That's the last one that's on the list. So we appreciate everybody being here this morning, giving information that we can look at, discuss, and we will take that into consideration, and there'll be other things come out on it, I'm sure, but for this morning, we'll move on to the rest of the meeting. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
It's good idea to use that transparent. It's online.
Now I'll turn it over to.
I wonder how many years making money off of it. Are you honest in all your business dealings?
It looks like
All right, we're going to keep this meeting in order. Mayor's announcements, other than say that the mayor is in a economic development. Now, just turn it over to you.
Okay, so 2 items, just to let you know that we are pulling item 9 from the agenda. It's a resolution that we'll consider at a later date after the and then per the charter, the city administrator is required to provide the mayor and council with a balanced budget proposal, and I'm here to do that at this point. Our city finances are strong. We have a balanced budget that means, according to the comptroller, that the general fund revenues, 18.8 million, equal to or exceed the general fund expenses, not including debt service. So at that, we have a balanced budget. We have a emergency reserve that meets the guidelines from the state comptroller's office. And we propose no increases in fees, no increases in taxes. The only increase that we're recommending in personnel is for 3 more full-time firefighters starting January 2nd. So by way of time, I'll stop there. What happens next in the process is that the board takes these items up for consideration in the meetings in May. That's your opportunity to amend whatever you want from the proposal, to start over, to do whatever you want, or to say that's good and do first reading and second reading. So with that completes my comments. And for the department manager report, Michelle Gantz from Main Street is here to give us a rather brief and short update.
Promise.
How about that?
All right.
You want me to start the 2-minute clock?
I mean, if you want to, but I won't talk for that long. Plus, mine's not me, not upsetting anybody, hopefully. So, hi. I don't know if I've met everyone, but if I haven't, I'm Michelle Vance. I'm your downtown director. Have been since 2020. So, yay. We are getting ready to gear up for the 11th Amp Lawrenceburg Summer Concert Series. So, if you're not aware of that, we are doing 10 free concerts. The downtown Lawrenceburg was awarded a grant through the National Love It Foundation to provide free, accessible music to the community. So we are doing that. We need to do it in an underutilized space. Originally, we were looking at doing it right here on the square, but that would have meant shutting down businesses at early every Saturday. And that was not feasible or beneficial to any of those businesses. So what we're doing is hosting it at Veterans Park. So we hope you all will join us for that. We have gone and gotten as many genres as we can. I do have a lineup that I'm going to give y'all. You can look it over. We begin May 9th with country star Jimmy Allen. And then from there we have soul, we have funk, we have southern rock, we have gospel. We have pretty much every genre that we could find and afford. Many of your local Lawrenceburg businesses are supporting this as being partners or volunteers or financial supporters as well. So,
how's the schedule going to work for that? Is that going to be 10 days in a row? Or?
no, so it's going to be every other-ish week throughout the summer, starting May 9th. So it'll be May 9th, May 23rd, June 6th, June 20th, July 11th, July 25th, August 1st, August 15th, September 5th, and September 12th. Some of those run a little closer than others because of holidays or existing community events that we chose not to compete with. So we're excited, and we hope that it'll bring lots of people out. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have, obviously, free live music. We have local bands opening. We also will have kids zones, float in the creek, and all kinds of fun. So, yeah.
Okay.
Any other, I mean, I'm allowed to take questions, right?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Well, again, I just want to say, Michelle, thank you. Again, I appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you going and getting a grant for it, and it's going to be great for our community. So, especially those who love music and want to be a part of that, I think it's excellent. So, great work, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I do have an agenda. I'm just going to go ahead and give this, and then you guys can kind of pass it around. There's 5 of them here, but that sort of gives you all of our headliners, and it also has a Spotify playlist. So if you want to find a new favorite artist, thank y'all.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to say thanks to Dick and your team on the budget. Again, I know that's a huge undertaking, and appreciate you getting that done.
It's a full collective effort, all the departments.
With Jada and her team, and so I look forward to laying in bed tonight and reading it. So, thank you.
That's it.
I'm done. Over to
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. First matter today is the public hearing on ordinance 1452. It's an ordinance to amend ordinance 789 entitled the zoning ordinance of the city of Lawrenceburg. This is to rezone property owned by Jeff and Christy Stanford on the north side of 2nd Street and the west side of 1st Avenue. Currently zoned R3. The proposal is to change it to C3 Commercial District. It's based on the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Would anyone care to address the board concerning ordinance 1452 this morning?
Hi, sorry, I did not come prepared, but with this, I would love to ask a question of what would be used on the commercial property. Is this going to be like the data center where things are just rezoned and then we don't know what's coming onto the property?
I think that the Stanfords own across the street, and they bought the property on the other side of the street, and they're, Jeff, you probably better off to address that.
Go ahead. This is the property owner.
I assure you it's not a data center. I own Sign Designs, the business that's right directly across the street. This is strictly just for my business. Thankfully has grown, and we need some more space.
Yeah, I think it would be really important. I'm sure you guys do a lot of rezoning things, but I think not just saying, okay, this is being rezoned for this kind of use, or for this, from residential to commercial, but actually what it's going to be used for. I think that would be really helpful knowing as these things come up as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else care to address the board about 1452 this morning? If not, we'll close the public hearing. Ordinance 1452 is the first matter on the agenda. An ordinance to amend Ordinance 789 entitled zoning ordinance to the city of Lawrenceburg. This is to rezone property of Jeffrey Neal Stanford and Christy Stanford from R3 to C3. It's based on recommendation of the Planning Commission. Public hearing has been held. It's here for second and final reading.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any opposition? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries.
Next, gentlemen, is a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council of the City of Lawrenceburg to adopt the future land use plan and major thoroughfare plan for the City of Lawrenceburg and to incorporate said plans into the official city policy for land use, zoning, subdivision, and transportation decisions. That's for your consideration this morning.
And I would ask the board to remember that these are guidelines, these aren't laws. This is to help property owners understand where we think things might grow and not grow.
All right, we have a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries.
Next, gentlemen, is a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council of the City of Lawrenceburg to authorize the renovation and upgrades to the old West Highland gym as leased from the Lawrence County Board of Education. That's for your consideration today.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That carries.
Next, gentlemen, is a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council of the City of Lawrenceburg to call for the election of Council Seat 1, Council Seat 2, and Mayor in accordance with Private Chapter 99 of the Private Acts of 2008. Election to be held the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of 2026, and that's for your consideration.
Motion to approve. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Next is a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council of the City of Lawrenceburg to appoint Ryan Evers to the Lawrenceburg Beer Board. With his term to expire August 23rd, 2031. That's for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Does Mr. Evers want to say anything?
No.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is done.
Next, resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council of the City of Lawrenceburg to appoint Curtis Peters as the City of Lawrenceburg representative to the Tennessee Southern Railroad Authority Board. His term to expire March 1st, 2028. That's for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? That resolution is complete.
Next, a resolution of the Board of Mayor and Council to enter into a master services agreement for professional engineering services with Collier Engineering Company, Inc. to serve as on-call consultant services as needed on a per-project basis, and that's for your consideration.
Motion to approve.
Motion. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That resolution carries.
Yeah.
That's all we
I
have
think
on-
that's all business I have today, gentlemen.
That's all we have on the agenda today. We'll be out of here.
Motion to adjourn.
Questions, anyone?
Second.
Motion carried. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
John?
Well done.